Please stand to salute the flag.
You should tell them that since they're all from the same mother. Like, yeah. You think
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law is enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice to attend meetings of any public body in which any business affecting their interests is discussed and acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the school district administrator or board secretary must cause notice of this meeting to be sent to the following, announcing time and place thereof, agenda, etc. New Jersey Journal, Administrative Bulletin Board, and the district website. This evening, board members, I have a few announcements. First, I'd like to announce to the public that in the future, the board meetings for the coming year will be held on Thursday evenings instead of Wednesday, so there's a change, so it will be the second Wednesday of the month. Second Thursday instead of the second Wednesday. And for the month of June, there will be two meetings. One will be on June 13th, and the other will be on June 27th. And then currently there is no July meeting scheduled. The other thing I'd like to inform the board members of is that although I know the board members don't like this and they try not to do it, there was one emergency resolution that we added on to my section, one section that's 1.18 exactly tonight, and it's an emergency bid for soil remediation. As you're aware, we awarded a bid for boiler replacement at Harrell Bain School, and we encountered some contaminated soil there, so we're in the process of remediating that. And I'll need the board's permission to place a bid to have the soil removed once the environmental protection people do their jobs at the high school. That's been added to the agenda. And one other minor adjustment in your items on item 1.7. At the time that we released the agenda to you last week, I did not know the interest rate that the bank would be charging us. The state of New Jersey, a couple years ago, more than that now, has withheld for all school districts in the state of New Jersey the state aid payments for the month of June, and they're paid in July. And any district that needs the funds is allowed to borrow it, and the state pays the interest that accrues during that period for the 1 month period. So we'll be borrowing money, and the interest rate that the bank quoted us is 2.95%. So that was not in the package. I just wanted to call that to your attention. Announcements. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President, Board Secretary. I just have a few announcements. I just want to recognize the Hudson County Alliance of Teen Artists. We had several winners from Memorial High School in the Teen Arts Performance Awards. In large vocal group, Memorial High School won the vocal ensemble. Young Boyle, the advisor who was in charge of that program. Also, we won 2 awards in small group and large group drama under the direction of Ms. Beth Bauer, Memorial High School Performing Arts Academy received awards there. I would just like to recognize them. This is a very prestigious Teen Arts Award in Hudson County. Also to make board members aware that the art show is currently going on since yesterday through Friday at the middle school gymnasium. It's really very exciting and interesting to see the performance and what some of our students from the elementary school, lower grades up to high school are doing under the direction of Dave Osnowitz, the director, supervisor of that program. One athletic note, currently our baseball team is playing in the state sectional semifinals. The score is tied currently. We wish them the best. They've already won 2 games in the sectionals, and hopefully if they win today, they will go into the state sectional finals. And one last thing, Lorenzo, if you'd like to give out to the board members a copy of Nova. Nova is a publication from Memorial High School, collection of essays, poems, art, put on sponsored by the English department, put together by our students. The reason I want to comment on that, I want to thank Mr. Franchetta for allowing me to purchase that for the board, is that this year's NOVA is dedicated, if you open up to the first page, to the 26 victims of Newtown, Connecticut. This program is being dedicated. The pictures are being dedicated. I'd like to thank Ralph Pasanti from one of our vendors from Royal Printing, who will be shipping to every single member, every one of these families, the 26 families who lost either teachers or children and so forth, more than 26. A copy is always being sent currently, paid expenses by Ralph Pasanti from Royal Printing is being sent. This NOVA copy is being sent to the families of these victims. And I think that I just wanted to acknowledge that. And I want to thank Mr. Pasanti and also thank Memorial High School for dedicating me. The rest of my reports are on file. Thank you.
At this time, we'll open the meeting up to public comment in accordance with the West New York Board of Education Bylaw 0167. Public participation in board meetings adopted April 22nd, 2009. Each participant shall be limited to 3 minutes in duration. If there's anyone who wishes to address the board, please approach the microphone and state your name and address for the record.
Tom DiSocio, NJEA, 6600 Boulevard East. After the last board meeting, when the superintendent read out his report and it was the board's reorganization meeting, I think it's an opportunity for all of us to have a new beginning, or at least I hope it is. And I want to also congratulate President Sears and Vice President Reyes for being re-elected to the positions on the board, and hope that we can all work together moving forward. We have an opportunity tonight because there's 2 contracts up, and hopefully we can get those 2 contracts resolved, because there's been many of these people without a contract for over a year. And what we want to do, all of these people that come to these board meetings, what they would rather be doing is being home tonight, preparing for their lessons for tomorrow, marking the papers, getting ready for school, instead of having to come here month after month because we don't have a contract. So hopefully we can move forward. And I just want to say on behalf of all of the school employees here in the district, and as a guy who's been around the district for a long time, we have an opportunity to work together. We have an opportunity to move forward. We really do. And I honestly believe if the board and the association and the people that are working for the Board of Education work together, I really think we can make this as successful a school district as we possibly can. And it's really all about the kids. And that's why everybody is here. It doesn't matter what hat we wear, but that should be the reason that we're here. Whether it's the trustees who are here for the children, or if it's the school employees who are here for the children, and we're following the leadership of the superintendent and the Board of Education and trustees. I've been in meetings when the School Boards Association has come and given reports and tried to explain to school board trustees what their role is. Their role, I don't want to repeat it, their role is not to run the school district. That's the superintendent's job. Their role is to create policy and follow the advice and suggestions of your administration. That's why you pay these guys. So, welcome to the new trustee. Hopefully you'll understand which hat you're supposed to be wearing while you're sitting here at this table. Not the hat of the deputy mayor, but rather the hat of a trustee. So hopefully we can work together moving forward to the future. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to address that?
Sal Vega, 6600 Boulevard East. Just a question to the superintendent first. In many public entities, they're required to post the agenda on their website before the meeting. So one at home, whether it's the day before or 12 hours before, can get an idea of what will be placed on the agenda. Is that a requirement of a school district?
I don't believe it's currently a requirement. For school districts. I think it's statutory required currently. I've heard rumblings that it will be short.
I think we should take the lead In doing that, obviously the agenda is something that should be open to all those that want to participate in the process. And I do understand that there are times that you have a late item, and of course that would be presented at the meeting. I'm also concerned about the progress that is being made, hopefully, with the answer to the State of Education report. The report stated that the district had 60 days, or as a matter of fact, 30 days to respond. Is there any work being done? Is that work being done internally, out of the superintendent's office? Are the board members participating? Can you expand, not on the report or the actual findings that you've reached, but how the process is taking place?
Actually, tonight, Mr. Bader, the board is going to be voting on the corrective action plan that has been put forward. And it's going to be presented because the board has to approve the cap, and that's being presented this evening in executive session for voting.
Thank you.
If I may, the corrective action plan has already been submitted to OFAC. They have reviewed it. They're satisfied with it. They believe it's in compliance. It is going to be discussed in closed session today. I'll be certain that all of the board members are on board with it. And it'll be my recommendation that they approve it.
Yes. And then when would it become a public document? That response?
I mean, I would have no problem with it being, issued immediately. I take no issue with it.
Well, I mean, it's got to be certified by the business administrator, board secretary, so it should be available tomorrow, Kevin, or the next day.
So if there was a favorable vote, you would have it available sometime tomorrow?
Yeah, as long as you don't need the resolution that says certified on it, but the cap itself, yeah, it'll be available tomorrow, no problem. Just make copies.
Thank you. And one last issue that is very dear to me. Many years ago, we worked very hard to recruit students from the waterfront. And the district, in fact, has become very successful in doing that over the last 6 years. Now we have, I believe, over 100 students from the waterfront. Many of the parents are delighted with the education that the children get. They've been here before. They're very active with the PTA, PTO. But the issue, again, is the issue of transportation. How do we get those children up from the waterfront to our schools? West New York is very unique, the way that the waterfront lies in comparison to the rest of the town. There's only one way up. Both River Road and Anthony M. DeFino Way are really highways. And no parent, I think, would trust a child, even at 10 years old, walking from the waterfront to the schools. So is there any possibility that we're going to continue that transportation for the students?
Yes, actually, Mr. Bader, I'm working very diligently that actually with the town has suggested that they will pay for the transportation, and this way it will make it a little bit easier on us, because then we can, what happens when we do it, then we have to open transportation to everybody that goes out of district. We've been paying a lot of money for that. But we're in a current negotiation now, and it's looking pretty favorably. I know the board members have been on me for this, that we're currently looking to have transportation. That's one of my priorities. Actually, one of the first priorities. I think you're making a good point.
Are there any conflicts with school law in trusting students to be driven by non-school employees? We have the issue that to protect the students, all employees of the Board of Education are fingerprinted, checked for any misdeeds in their past. So how would that work? And is that something that has been reviewed?
No, we're basically considering the busing. We're going to provide the busing. That's what I'm moving forward on. because that gets really delicate when you have board employees in bringing up the children and so forth. I'd rather do it with the busing, so we're going to try very hard to accommodate again like we did this last step.
So it would be Board of Education buses, Board of Education drivers reimbursed by the municipality.
Correct.
Great. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Francisco Ferrero, 6128 Park Avenue. My first question is, has Mr. Vargas provided his GED to this board or to Mr. Superintendent yet?
Actually, at this time, I can't really comment on personnel issues. Unfortunately, I can't do it in the public session. I'm sorry.
Okay. Second question might be directed more towards one of the board attorneys. Is there a legal process the board could go through to disqualify an appointed board member by the mayor? Is there a process to eliminate a board member that was chosen by the mayor, especially with this OFAC report saying this is one of the biggest issues in the school system with the mayor appointing political cronies and friends for his political agenda, and him appointing Mr. Silvio Vega, his right-hand man? Is there any actions that can be taken by the board to disqualify this gentleman?
The board as a collective does not have the authority to move to disqualify one of its own members. That would be a direct conflict.
Okay. And my last question is to you, Mr. Falta. And I hate to be the one to bring this up because a lot of these teachers here seem to like you very much, but I feel I must. You've read the OFAC report, all 23, 27 pages here, stood in front of all of us, practically broke down in tears, and you promised us that it's a different ball game, that you're not handcuffed anymore, and that you're going to stand tall against things being done to your district, and you're going to stand for your district even if you have to go under the bus yourself. But 5 minutes later, I see an interview with you saying, hey, we got to welcome Mr. Acosta with open arms. When that's exactly what the OFAC report was about. The mayor appointing political friends to the board and to the school district. And that's as big as political friend he has. That's the puppet master right there sitting on your board. And you were okay with this. You didn't stand tall as you promised. You didn't stand against it. You welcomed it with open arms.
I'd like to comment on that. First of all, regardless, I do not choose who the board members are. That is done by the mayor in the Type 1 school district. I truly believe that every man should be given the opportunity to prove himself. That's not me going along with the political machine, because the people in this room, they all know me. And I am going to be 101%. But when it comes to the board, I have no authority to choose or to fire or to hire. I think the man, regardless, whatever his political affiliation, should be given the opportunity. That I think is a very fair statement. And people in the know, right down to federal authorities, told me that was the best possible answer I can give. Give the man a chance. I don't have any say when it comes to the board. But
it's a total contradiction to what you said.
It is not a contradiction.
Speech, sir.
I'm not going to badmouth a board member who has not been given the opportunity to prove himself. I have no control over that. You can think what you want, but my ultimate thing is to protect this district, and I can, let's see, within my power. And that's recommendations and so forth.
I'm sorry,
as far as the board, I think all these board members, like Mr. DeSocio said, let's start new in the beginning. Let's give everybody the opportunity to work together.
Did you not read the report, Mr. Fonto?
I read the report many times.
Okay. The issue here is political appointees, political agendas from the mayor.
But you don't understand. I have no control over the mayor choosing. I can't go to war.
I understand.
Hi, I'm Janice Zorovich, 1407 43rd Street, North Bergen, but a Western person involved. If we're going to start new, I would like to ask, I guess, Mr. Vega, who brought up this waterfront that we're going to be paying for the children's school busing. Are we aware that we are under a 30-year abatement where they do not pay anything to the school? That they pay 95% goes to the township, 5% goes to the county, and nothing goes to the school. And now you're saying that we have 100 and something children that we're going to bus from our school system with our buses and our bus drivers. And no offense, but they're not paying taxes to our school. And I think that's not fair. So either maybe we should go back. Any of the teachers, by the way, you know you're all supposed to be in the abatement discussion because it affects the schools. So if we're going to start new, I think maybe we should let the teachers know how many abatements we have, how much is not going to the school system, and how much we're spending on these people to come into our school system. Okay, that needs to be addressed if we're going to start new. And no offense, but like we said, we're starting new. The abatements were given during and after Mr. Vega and Mr. Series, and you know, if we're going to start new, let's all be honest. Let's start with the abatements, let the teachers know what is going on, and let's see how much the waterfront is costing our school system, and let's get it back to us somehow. Okay. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to address the board? Okay, seeing no one, the public portion of the meeting is now concluded. The board will now recess into executive session to discuss items which fall within the exception of our... Before we recess into executive session, any questions on resolutions in the first R section? I'd just like to leave a modification to R34. Resolved that the Westminster Board of Ed permits the superintendent of schools to take action in consultation with the board president between board meetings subject to retroactive approval by the Board of Education for the 2013-14 school year. Is there any questions on any of the reorganization items on the agenda by any board members? Does anyone have any questions on any of this? This is in finance section 1. Curriculum section 2. Operations section 2. Special services section 4.
Go, questions.
On these items, the board members have questions on any of the items within the R's. And 1, 2, 3 are 4s. They have to be here. So if you have any questions, the legal section 5 and 6 will be discussed in the executive session. The questions can be addressed there.
Yes, I would just like to comment on some of the people who spoke at the public session just now. And the first comment I would like to make is to the UNICEF representative. And I'm very pleased and I feel very comfortable with what you said. But I would like to say something that I think that we as a district, and I do not mean the teachers, but we as a board, we as an administration have truly, I feel, overlooked. And that is the fact that today, I will use as an example, we had at least 4 various staff members, whether they be administrative, whether they be an advisor to a wonderful booklet as this. And yet, as a district, I cannot believe, and maybe it's from where I come from, that every one of these people isn't handed a certificate. I mean, framed with what is going on. So much of what you do, unless you actually go and sit and try to investigate, I am telling you, people don't know. And yet, I come and sit here, and I've had the fortunate opportunity to, after being in education for over 40 years, and I see what you do, and I'm amazed. And it doesn't have to be something that's the arts. It doesn't have to be literature. If you remember last year, you had a gentleman up here, and I'm sorry that I forgot his name, who talked about the electric car and what was going on. So you are covering the fields, but we aren't getting that out there. And I think that's our responsibility. And I think when we are failing in that, I think something needs to be said to us. Every one of those people should have been here this evening and congratulated. Every single one. The second comment I'd like to make would be with regard to Mr. Vega and what he had brought up. Number one, there was no input from the board about the report. No one's ever come to me, and I can't say to my colleagues, it's always an afterthought. And that is something, communication, that needs to improve here. Great deal. And for an agenda, agendas should be published at least a week in advance, not 24 hours. And I guess I'm the one who has created the most disturbance, and I apologize, but not really, to my colleagues here for saying, don't tell me something the last minute, because it annoys me that I do not know what's going on. And I have one more other thing to say. This is it. When I talk,
Let her speak.
You don't usually hear me because I'm in the back room there yelling. But the last and final thing is, and this I'll address to Mr. Vega, as far as busing is concerned, I don't know if you know the rule, but the rule that says that students that live within 2 miles do not need to be bused unless it is a hazardous route. And that is the reason why there is so many issues that are dealing with the waterfront. In other districts, to take students out of the district doesn't pay for it. So if they pick a private high school to go to, let's just use that, it is the parents who pay for that busing, even though the busing comes from the community. And now that is basically what happens in Middlesex County, where I was. Okay? And those are the only comments that I would like to make this evening before I go in there and get my head handed to me. Take care.
Any other questions from the board members? The public portion of the meeting is now concluded. We will now recess into executive session to discuss items which fall within the exception of our open meetings policy permits the board to have private discussions as it deals with specific exceptions contained in New Jersey Statute Entry 10.4-12B. This evening, the board will be discussing matters of personnel affecting current and prospective employees, matters of contract negotiations, the West New York Education Association, and the West New York Supervisors Association contracts, matters of litigation, the fact report and possible appeal, and other matters as rendered confidential by law, student disciplinary committees. And also, the Caneo Lopez litigation. Be it resolved that the Board of Education will recess into executive session to discuss the aforementioned matters. Any discussion held by the board which may not remain confidential will be made public as soon as practical. Minutes of the executive session will not be disclosed until the reason of confidentiality no longer exists. The board may take action on these items following executive session.
Folks, as an aside, I always tell you how long the bout will be. We have 2 student hearings tonight, which will take some time. It may take some time. And then we have to go over the contracts and the litigation. It may be a while.
Trustee
We can stop this, right? We can stop there.
Yes.
Your grandma. You gotta get her my clothes. No, his her granddaughter is there. Grandma. She's right there with the flag.